What is up, you guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Deja D, and welcome to another episode of my podcast. Let me tell you something, Post-Grad Diaries. Guys, it's been a little minute. It's been a little minute. And excuse me, I don't think that my voice sounds sick still, but I am a little still under the weather. Today is the best day that I've felt. So I don't think I sound too sick, but I might a little bit. I got a new microphone. So yeah, your girl has been feeling sick. I've been sick for about a week now. The place where I work, it's just a lot of people. I've been around a lot of stuff. We had an event at work, so I was just around way more people than I typically am around. And then I like go to the gym, and I just do a lot, and I've been around a lot of different places lately. So I got sick, and I've been sick for a few days. And I also, my microphone was broken, and it was kind of messed up for a few episodes now, and I didn't really recognize it. So I was like, okay, I need to get my microphone fixed. And I was feeling under the weather, and I also just kind of got a little overwhelmed with work and just balancing my podcast and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to skip a week. And then from me skipping a week from being overwhelmed in my microphone, then turned to me missing another Monday because I was sick and under the weather. So yeah, this is why you all are getting an episode in the random days of the week. But I'm going to be catching up. So the day that I'm filming this is Thursday the 22nd. So I'm going to try to get this up and edited hopefully no later than Saturday. And you all still will be getting an episode on Monday, hopefully. I'm trying not to like overly pressure myself, but I definitely want to get back on track. So hopefully I can get one out. This episode will be coming out this weekend. And then I'll be back on track on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that is what we got going on right now. If you all are watching me on YouTube, if you're interested in anything with this glam, if you see what your girl got going on, I'm obsessed with it. Definitely check me out on Instagram and TikTok. I will have a full in detail video coming out soon with that. And I think that's pretty much it. As far as just like random thoughts I had on top of my head. If you all are listening in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hey guys, make sure you all are following us. Sometimes you all can be listening but not following. So make sure you all are following. I think I can kind of hear my nose like stuffed up. Yeah, you all can hear that. I'm sorry. But anywho, this episode was supposed to come out before Valentine's Day. In the comment section, let me know what you all did for Valentine's Day. Galentine's Day for my single girls out there. I dropped a reel on Instagram and on TikTok talking a little bit about this topic, so you all kind of got an idea on what this episode is going to be about. But I'm super excited. Let's hop right in. Episode 7 of the season 2 of my podcast. I already told you guys to follow me, but if you all aren't following me, make sure you're following Deja's Daily Dose on all social media platforms. That's TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And make sure you're following me, your host, Deja D, on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And like I said, if you're listening in on any of the podcast platforms, Spotify or Apple, make sure you're following us. So yeah, let's hop into today's episode. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm in love. I'm obsessed, and I don't feel bad about it at all. Like, at all. Okay? At all. Honestly, like, if you're watching me and not listening, like, if you're listening, it's going to be, like, less awkward. But, like, when I write these episodes, it's like, oh, I'm just sitting there, like, I'm just typing. But now I actually have to, like, record it and, like, say it and everything. So yeah, I haven't vocally said these things out loud to the public, so bear with me if it seems a little like, girl, because I don't really talk about this. I'm not like super like vulnerable when it comes to like my love life and my dating life, and we get deeper about topics revolving that aspect of my life. I don't think I really talk about it much on my platforms, but you all, if you follow me, you all know I'm in a relationship. And when I was writing this video, I was like, okay, where do I want to start? Or like, how do I want this topic in this video to be discussed? Because it could go a bunch of different ways. This was my second year in a row having a Valentine. I had a Valentine last year for the first time in a long time. And it's funny though, like think about it. I didn't really write this, but if I could be like kind of cheesy, first, like Valentine's Day last year, it was so funny because, and like when my boo is watching this episode, because she watches all my episodes, we started talking in January last year. So we recently just made a year of dating in January this year. So now it's like a year and some change now. But we started dating in January last year. And in my head, I was like, oh, if she doesn't ask me to be her Valentine, like I'm cutting off ties. For anybody out there that's like listening in or whatever the case may be, if you're dating somebody in like the December, January time frame, or like that cuffing season time frame, or any time frame, if you're talking to someone, Valentine's Day to me, it's just like that day that's like it just establishes what you are. Like, are we just texting or are you serious? So we were like talking. We had went out on a date by this point. We might have went out on 2, but I know for sure we went on 1. I think we might have been on 2. And as the days was leading up to Valentine's Day, I was in my head like, if she doesn't ask me to be her Valentine, we will not be talking still. And it was, she did ask me, and we were Valentines, and we, celebrated Valentine's Day for the first time last year. So I just thought that was a funny little story to put out there. But this is my second year having a Valentine. And for me, back to the topic of relationally, I grew up in a 2-parent household. So marriage was something that I always pictured, and knew that I wanted. It was something that, I was just like, yeah, like for me, I was like, okay, I grew up in a household. I have my mom and my dad. I have my siblings. Like we grow up, they've been married my, whole life. That's all I knew. And I had people in my family, like my aunts or like my grandma, who were single or who are like, single, but I grew up in a 2-parent household. And so marriage was something that was like, yeah, I want this for myself. But as I got older, I just didn't know how that would come about. I kind of, I just like, yeah, I mean, I want to be married. Like that was always a goal, but I never knew like how that would come about. I didn't know like when I would meet that person. I didn't know, I couldn't envision myself in that space. Like when I closed my eyes at night and I dreamed about my future, it was always like, okay, I know I want these things, but I can't visually see myself in those positions. I don't see myself as the wife. I don't see myself as the mother. I don't see myself as but I know I want it. Like I know I want that. I just can't visually see myself there. And maybe when I go back to therapy, she'll be able to tell me why I couldn't see myself there. I don't know. Maybe it was past relationships. Maybe it was things I grew up and saw. I can't tell you why I wasn't able to visually see myself there, even though I wanted to be there. When I was in school, as far as college, I was like, nah, I'm just not interested in the dating scene here. I tried it, but it's like my school, I just don't like the drama. I don't like the mess. If you've been talking to somebody, I don't want you. Like, I don't know. I don't like used goods. I don't want nobody that somebody else has had. And it's like, you could be the goodest, the coolest person in the world. But if we're still in this like school environment, I don't need nobody to come up to me like, hey, so-and-so dated him, or this and this happened, or she was with her, or, whatever the case may be. Like, if somebody had you, they can have you. I don't want you. You're not even on my radar. You could look as good as possible, but I just don't need you. And when I would sit around and talk with amongst my friends and stuff while I was in school, it just started to feel like the only options when it came to dating. And like, mind you, to me, middle school and high school dating, that's like, I mean, after a certain amount of years, I kind of like crossed that out. Like if I dated you in middle school, we didn't really date. If I dated you in high school, that wasn't really serious. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was just so young. Like, I don't really count that anymore. That's like 4 years ago, 8 years ago. I don't know. Not counting that. But in college specifically, it just started to feel like the only options were to date somebody that somebody else already dated, which I felt like can get really messy, and based on, just experience and word of mouth and things you hear amongst campus or around campus, it was messy. And I didn't want no parts of that. Or you will have to date somebody and settle for someone who wasn't really ready for commitment, who wasn't really serious about dating. It's kind of like, oh, we're in college, these is temporary, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, when I love hard. When I date hard. I'm not trying to break up. And yeah, I just wasn't really interested in, dating anybody else. I wasn't interested in dating anybody who wasn't trying to be committed. I wasn't at that point in my life. So I just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to just do Deja. Like, I'm just going to hang out with me. I'm just going to love me. I'm just going to just vibe out. I'm not looking for anything. I still was very open to anything, or like if something was to come, I wasn't like one of those people that was like, if somebody came and they were the right person, I was going to shut myself off. But I was just not looking at a certain point, and I was focused on Deja. And focusing on Deja definitely took, some adventures that we'll talk about in another episode. But, I told myself that when I do decide to get in another relationship, just from previous relationships that I have been in, as far as things that like, those middle school and high school relationships that I mentioned earlier, I kind of discredit them, but I knew things that as far as like, when I date somebody again, I have to actually like them. I used to date people and I was guilty of dealing with people just because they liked me. And it was one of those things. It's like, okay, you like me because, of course, as the more feminine role in a relationship, I'm the catch. Like, I've had crushes on people before, in a sense of like, I might find you attractive, or I might, want to do, pursue you or something. But at the end of the day, I like for people to come to me, and like, I would typically just go with people that like, you like me. Okay, cool. I'll grow to like you. And I said, moving forward, as I got older, I was like, no, I actually want to like the person that I'm dating. Like, I'm not going to try to like you after, we start talking or whatever. Like, I actually have to either be attracted to you or actually like you. Like, I can't just date you because you like me. No, I said, no, Deja, you're not doing anymore. I remember the end of 2022, and I was just like really intentional with the fact of like, in 2023, I want to be in a relationship. I had a really hard experience while I was in school, as far as everything that went down with my family, friendships, that phase of my life. And I was like, I really want this for myself. I know I'm graduating in May. I'm getting ready to enter a new chapter in my life, and I'm young, but I'm ready to get my roses and smell my roses while get my roses while I can still smell them. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk about specifically in this episode, on how people, in our 20s and people in the 20s, we have this idea of just like, we're too young to be in a relationship, or too young to be in a committed relationship. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I felt like I was trying to force myself into that idea of like, like Deja, we're just going to be living our best life. We're going to be city girling it up. We're going to be doing all of this. And I quickly found out that was not for me. I found out that wasn't for me. I found out that I don't want to grow, to be in my 30s and my 40s. And it's not to say that that's wrong, but that's just not the reality. I would sit around and talk to friends. I would sit around and listen to family, like as far as aunts and grandmothers, and nobody really wanted to be single. Like, no one I talked to, we have in our idea in our head as far as just like, oh, like, niggas ain't shit, and nobody's out here and everybody's a player and X, Y, and Z, but it's because we have this idea that we're just so young and we have all this life ahead of us and we can just do and screw and party and don't give a fuck and don't want to be committed. And that's what's wrong with dating in this generation now, because everybody just wants to kind of like dibble and dabble and not really be committed because they're fearing being vulnerable with somebody and fearing commitment and fearing just holding yourself accountable for not only your actions, but the actions of, being around someone else and what comes with being in a relationship. It's about being vulnerable and being open, and people don't want to do that nowadays. I'll be 23 this year. And for me, it's like, okay, I'm still young enough to know, like, if I'm in a relationship and God forbid it's not what the cookie cutter dream or whatever the case may be, we're young enough to say, you know what, I could pick up the pieces and move on. Like, I'm not attached to anything in a sense of like nothing else is going to be for me. I'm so, old and I'm tied down to that. Like, I'm very aware of that sense of being young, like young enough to know, like, girl, you could pick yourself back up. If it's not right for you, don't stay. If you're not happy, don't stay. X, Y, and Z. But the idea of just like we're young and we don't have to commit or anything like that. Like, no, I do want to be married. I do want to have kids. I do want to grow old with someone. I do want to experience life with someone. And you kind of need to like get serious. Like, if you find someone you like, what we playing around for? Like, kind of what I mean? So at the end of 2022, I, was like very clear, like, I had a rough time. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of being depressed. I'm tired of being lonely. Hanging out with my girls is fun. I'm getting ready to graduate. The girls ain't gonna be there no more. We're all sitting around and we're acting like this shit is cool, but we really want to go out on dates. I'm tired of going out spending my own money. I'm tired of going out and driving myself. I'm tired of having dresses and heels and I'm wearing them to the club, but I really want to go out to dinner and eat. Like, I don't want to be out here, okay, cool. I'm 20. I'm out here single, living my best life. 21, out here living single, but my best life, whatever. Okay, girl, you're turning 22. You're turning 22. My mother was married and had me at 22. Now, granted, I don't need to, do the whole having kids and getting married all young, but you're 22 and now you're going to be 23. And you could still be 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. You could still be single. It's not a problem. However, it's just more in the sense of like, okay, you're growing up, If you want a companion, if you want a partner, you have to be open and mature enough and say, okay, Deja, like, you're getting older, you can laugh and we can kiki and we could talk about our favorite color all we want to, but like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? You have to grow up. And I had to tell myself, okay, God, like, in 2023, I want for you to send me my person. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to take this next step into put my big girl panties on and I'm ready to be in a real adult relationship. And, I always was like, I feel like I'm mature enough and I want to date somebody older than me because I don't think that the things that I want and the qualities that I want in a partner are going to be someone that's kind of my age. Not saying it's impossible, but like the things that I want, the people in my age and they ain't really got it yet. Like, I need somebody, okay, cool, I got my degree. Do I think you need to go to school and have your degree? No, but I have one. So you got to be doing something equal to it, and that means you have to be my age or older. And I just so happen to be one of the youngest in the friend group and pretty young to people in my circle. I hang out with a lot of people that's older than me. So you was naturally going to be older. So I just kind of had to grow up a little bit. And me and my friends, I remember at the end of 2022, we all like manifested these relationships. And we wrote down a list of things we wanted, things we, like very specific, like, God, I want you to send me somebody who has a job. I want you to send me somebody who has a car, own place, that's very established, working X, Y, and Z. I want them to have these qualities, just very specific with what I wanted. in a person, in my partner. And we also said we were not going to be listening to no more, F that N and these N's ain't S. And y'all know I usually cuss, but I'm trying to like simmer it down a little bit. But like no more like of that city girl, hot girl, no more of that like F these N's. I get all these N's, da 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 da. Like that music is cool. We turn up to it. We could dance to it in the club. We could party. I might know the words. But as far as like my day to day, like no, I'm gonna play more lover girl music. Like let's put on Sierra Promise. Let's put on, Cater to You. Like that's the type of vibe I was moving on. So cool. We manifested. We prayed on it. We asked God for it. We were very specific. We're going to clear out the noise. No more hot girl shit. No more city girl stuff. No more F that in. No more none of that. And I remember for me specifically, when I wrote down the things that I was looking for, I was very intentional with putting partner instead of like man, because my entire life, well, I can't say my entire life, but I can at least speak for when I was in middle school. I knew that I was attracted to women, and it was something I always knew. When I was in high school, I had crushes on girls. I had crushes on girls when I was in the beginning of my college phases. It's not to say I didn't like dudes. I think I find men attractive. But I told myself, I was going to be pretty open to it. And I was really going to put myself out there to try to, get in a relationship with a female, because that was something that I always wanted, but I was always like either too scared or pressured out of doing. Friends of mine that are probably watching it now and like that I grew up with in my circle and like my friends knew this. So when I ended up really seriously dating my partner now, it was like, girl, like you should have been dating girls. Like we always knew this for years. So now it's kind of like funny looking back at it. But I remember in 2022 when I was writing it, I didn't put a gender. I just was like, send me my person. Like, send me my person, please. Like, I'm tired of the ghetto shit. I'm tired of the dating apps and the linking up with people and the doing all the craziness. Like, no, I don't want that no more. So in January of 2023, like I was very committed to the whole, like, I'm not saying F this in. I'm not playing that. We manifested at the end of 2022. My current girlfriend, she reached out to me at homecoming 2022. But we didn't really start talking until January 2023. And that was when I was in LA. And it's so funny. But I just remember I was talking to Bree, because that's who I was with in LA. And I was like, girl, like this girl is messaging me. She's texting me. We're talking X, Y, and Z. When I get back to Hampton, I'm going to hang out with this girl. Like, I'm going to hang out with her. I'm going to get to know her. We're going to go on a date. We went on a date. She took me out. And after 3 months of us dating, we made it official. She was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? We was at a cheesecake. And a cheesecake came out and they had it on a plate. Do you want to be my girlfriend? I was like... And after that, the rest is history. Can I tell y'all something? Being in a mature adult relationship is scary as hell, but it is fun at the same time. So I'll start with the fun. It's fun being able to do life with someone. I talked about this in the TikTok and the reel that I posted. It's fun being able to do life with someone. It's fun being able to have somebody that you can hang out with. It's fun doing all the romantic, kissy, like all that stuff. That's the fun part. It's good to have somebody there to support you. I didn't realize that, I was missing that in my life for a minute. Just having somebody that's like truly there for you. Like your friends are there for you, but that your partner, someone that's like really there for you, like tapped all the way in there to cater to your needs. That's the fun part. having someone to, go to the grocery store with, or to help you when you're slacking, the support, like I said, that's the fun things. Easing me from my anxiety, my stress. One of the reasons why I love my partner so much is because I truly feel like I'm living when I'm with her. And you should feel like you're living when you're with your partner. Like I say all the time, it's so easy to just go into robot mode. Like if I didn't have my partner, I would just go to work and come back home and do my content and keep it pushing. You don't really have nobody to talk to. You could call up your friends, you could call up your family, you could call up these people, but you're not really telling them like your deep feelings. I remember yesterday night, I was like pissed, like, and this is like personal story, whatever, but I was like pissed, and it's like I would kind of shut down my feelings, but like when I'm with you or when I'm with her, it's like, well, what is upsetting you? And it's like I can't just shut down and not tell you. Like you're holding me accountable because, okay, cool, we're in this relationship, I have to communicate with you, I have to talk to you about my feelings. And it allows for me to feel like I'm living because I get to truly experience my emotions and truly be like, this did hurt me, and this is why it hurt me, and this is how I feel. And if I don't know how to express myself, cool, we'll circle back to it. But, just always somebody there to make sure you're living and feeling emotions and not just going through a cycle of like, go to work, do this, period. Go to work, do this, period. Go to work, eat, sleep, whatever. The scary part of being in a mature relationship is like when things start getting really serious. And I'm sorry if my voice is starting to sound a little sicky. I'm talking a lot now, so it's like getting a little sicky sounding. But whenever things will get serious in a relationship, I feel like, after our first 3 months of us dating, and we made it official, it was kind of like we were in another phase of our relationship. You've experienced a little bit of life together. You got to know each other a little bit within 3 months. Cool. Another 3 months go. That's a lot more time. And you get to know a little bit more. You go through a little bit more. Something might have happened. You might have did something. She might have did something. They might have did, whatever the case may be. And that's another chapter, another thing that's like things happen that, you could either deal with each other or not. Y'all probably disagreed on a few things. How do you deal with conflict? Whatever the case may be. Cool. Another 3 months go by and it's like, okay, like you learn a little bit more. Then, okay, another 3 months and now we're talking holidays. Like, what does that look like to you? What does family look like to you? Like, you get to probably meet some more of their like friends and family. You're going through all of these seasons. It's cold outside. Now y'all stuck in the house. What you doing? Like, how y'all hanging out? We've moved to a whole nother state together. So the moving process is just kind of like, or I remember when we were getting ready to move to Philly together, and it was just like, okay, like I don't know anybody out here for real, you don't know anybody out here for real, we're going to take this leap together, we're going to enter this new chapter together, go into this new city together. Like, do I trust you enough to do this? Do you trust me enough to do this? And that whole process of moving 5 hours is a whole, another thing. So you just kind of like see yourself opening up to this person more, and they get more intertwined in your life, and you go through more and more things together, and you're like continuously trusting each other. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's a scary thing, and it's an intimidating thing because it's like, you better work out. You know what I mean? And I think that, you're truly investing in a relationship. And that's what I feel like a lot of people do not, or like lack, as far as like being, oh, you're too young to be doing that, or you're too young to be doing that. If you're in a healthy relationship, your life should not stop. I still have a lot of personal goals that I want to reach. And then we have goals that we want to reach together. And you should be able to be in a relationship where your partner is supporting you through that. I'm still able to shoot my content. I'm still able to do my podcast. That does not stop because I'm in a relationship. If anything, you're supporting me by those nights that I'm want to record, or I'm coming back from work and I got other things to do, you can help pick up the slack as far as like, maybe you'll cook dinner this night. The days you're doing something, I'll cook dinner, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, those are the type of things that a partner helps you do life with. Or the days that's like, yeah, I am sad because this pissed me off. And versus me just going into my little bubble, I have somebody who I can like truly express these emotions with, truly do life with. You're helping me, you're guiding me, you're supporting me, you're investing in me, in my future, and I'm investing in you and your future and X. Now, I feel like I kind of been a little all over the place. I wrote this episode and I'm trying to, I always do this to myself. Every time I record an episode, I always feel like I'm all over the place. And then I edit it and it's like, okay, I love the episode. So this is probably just me chatting, but there are a few things that I want to make sure that I highlight in this episode. And if I'm looking down at my computer and I'm like reading, it's because like I said, I don't want to really be all over the place. So let me tell you something. You are not too young to settle down and fall in love. Do not let social media fool you and try to tell you otherwise, because all these rappers and IG girls, they got somebody they run into at night. And if they don't, trust me, they want to. They're with their baby daddies, or they're getting these flowers and they're getting these gifts that they're posting. And I've spoken to so many women and people my entire life, and even as we watch TV shows, and it's just like, people don't want to be alone. We watch these housewives, we watch these women. We didn't see Portia from the Housewives, try to get a baby nut with some dude, and then the next season you with Dennis, and then now you with like, people really want to be in these relationships. We see Kenya, and she didn't rush and sneaked and got married. Or we see the people like the Jada, you're with the little baby and going back and forth with him, and Ari got a man all the time, and like these people, this whole, Lotto, she got somebody she with, like everybody wants to be in a relationship. So don't let them fool you. Don't let social media try to push you and tell you like you're too young, X, Y, and Z, because at the end of the day, everybody wants somebody. Everybody wants somebody. I don't know, not one person. City girls got dudes. Nicki married. Beyonce's catered to you. Who that really don't want to be with nobody? So yeah, everybody wants someone. And I think that, with post-grad diaries and everything, it's specifically, more so my target audience is probably women that's around my age or people around my age. And if you're older, cool, same story. But I wanted to make sure that was something that I talked about, because it is real. And I also wanted to say that it's cool to like focus on yourself and take time to learn yourself and what you like and dislike before you get into a relationship with someone. But we need to embrace the fact that it is okay to be in love and want to find love, and that you're not too young to do so. I did have some time, I went basically my whole college experience single. And that gave me a lot of time to, I talked to other people as far as just like getting to know people. Like I said, I was on dating apps, I'm texting, whatever the case may be. I got to see other fish in the sea. So it's not like I just hopped into it just because I don't come on here and show you or talk to you all like I'm going on a date or I'm doing this or I'm talking to so-and-so. Doesn't mean that didn't happen. But it's okay to say, like how I said it, I did in 2022. I'm 21 at the time. And I'm like, I actually want to be in a relationship. I don't want to do life alone. I do want to get, you kind of have to date people for a little bit before you actually get engaged and then get married. And I would like to, have some kids before I'm 30 or by the time I'm 30. So it's kind of like, that's a process. You got to kind of date somebody, and then you got to like get engaged, and then you got to like, be married and have kids and stuff like that. So I don't want to push my timeline too long. And it's cool if things don't work out and X, Y, and Z, and everybody's timeline is different. You don't need to rush it when it's meant for you or to be for you. But I was open to that, and I was, getting myself prepared for that. And I got to know what I liked and disliked. And like I said, I dated people, and I was like, okay, Deja, when you get into your next relationship, it has to be somebody you like. You have to have some type of standards. You got to be able to have some type of like yeses and nos. You know, my old relationship is like, I don't want to drive you around. I don't want to be, you know, the only person working and I'm paying for us to do stuff. I don't want, you know, that type of relationship. I don't want to date the dude that I'm not really attracted to. I don't want to deal with this. If you got stink breath, bad hygiene, don't want to deal with that. I'm not interested in dating someone with not that many clothes, and just, I knew what I didn't like. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Just because you like me, I'm not doing a pity party. This is not charity. This is my relationship in my real life. Okay. I'm not kissing no more frogs. So, you know, I was definitely like, found out what I liked and disliked. And I wasn't willing to date people who weren't ready to date. You know, we're not going to just be fucking around and doing the whole 1-2. No. So yeah, definitely, you know, be young and experience what you want to do, but embrace the fact that it's okay to want to find love. And let me tell you something, love is not enough for a relationship. It takes more than just love to have a healthy relationship. We need commitment. Not everyone, you know, everyone is different, and some people have different standards when it comes to relationships. Some people like poly, some people like trolley, some people like thruples. It's all kind of crazy shit out here nowadays. But I can speak for me. I'm selfish. I don't even want nobody else looking at you. I don't even want nobody hearting your stories. You know what? You could just delete your social media. It's like, nah. But no, like, I need commitment. I just want to put you in a box, and I only got the key. Relationships need more than love. They need communication. Can I talk to you more about, you know, your favorite food and your favorite color? Can we watch TV together? Can we talk about goals? Can we talk about God? Can I tell you things and they won't be thrown back in my face or judgment? Can we argue? Like, can we argue and, you know, work it out? For me, I need security in a relationship. Do I feel safe with you? Do I feel like you could take care of me? Do I feel like you can support me? Relationships mean more than love. They need respect. They need trust. They need growth. They need to be able to evolve. When I started dating my girlfriend, I was in college. And since then, I've graduated. I've, you know, moved in with you. I've had my stage of being unemployed. I was working at a club as a host at the comedy club. Now I'm doing, you know, I have a full-time job, and I'm doing social media management. Like, and I have other things, you know, I'm doing behind the scenes that I haven't done. I've aged. Like, I've changed a lot, and I'm getting ready to turn another age, you know, pretty soon. So, and vice versa, you know, she's had her share of different things that she's grown and changed throughout the relationships. So it's just kind of like, can we grow together? Can we, you know, you're older than me, but you're still young at the same time. Can we grow together? How do we, you know, I'm a whole nother girl. I'm in a whole new city, you know? So it's just kind of like, you know, can we reach our goals together? Are you holding me back? Like, can we continue to do better and do better and do better in our lives? And what does that look like for our relationships growth, our individual growth, as we change as people, as I mature? You know, I went through, you know, being a college student and having that kind of lifestyle to now I'm out of school and I'm settling into a new city. Just overall, can we evolve together in relationship? That takes more than love. And one of the last things I wanted to talk about with the whole topic of this video and everything like that, and I'll be quick because I feel like the video is kind of long now, is, you know, with the theme of the podcast of like finding yourself and living for you and growing in our 20s, is relationships are personal. I know in some cultures, you know, families, they do arranged marriages, and this ain't this not that, you know, that's a very specific type of thing. This ain't that. Okay, this is not that. Love who you love. I could say for myself, like I said, I knew, you know, I'm not going to say that I wasn't attracted to men. I'm not going to say that. However, I knew when I was in middle school that I was attracted to women. And I was kind of scared to pursue it based on familial things, what the outside world would think, or what my circle of people would think. And like I said, my friends were always supportive of it. But it was mostly like family stuff. And I would have missed out on being in this relationship had I let that outside noise interfere with my decisions. And I would have missed out on being in a relationship with someone who truly loves me and I love back. I would have missed out on being with someone who's really supportive. I would have missed out on what I believe God sent me. And you're not in a relationship with your mama. You're not in a relationship with your daddy. You're not in a relationship with your cousin. You ain't in a relationship with your grandma, your best friend, your sister, nobody. And you have to be okay with whoever you lay down with at the end of the night. And it's not always even about, dating the same gender. You hear people talking about oh, he's so tall. Oh, she's fat. She's ugly. She's this. She's that. They don't got no job. They're trashing. They just trash them. Big feet, small, black, white, Asian, Mexican. When you're in a relationship, it's your business. It's personal. You have to be confident with who you're dating. And this is not me supporting you staying with your baby daddy or that nigga with no car and no job. But if you find love in someone that you least expect, don't let outside noise interfere with you pursuing it. You will grow old, tired, and miserable doing that. And trust me, I know. I know many people who have settled for something to please other people and spend their life with internal anger because they do so. And they want to project it onto other people. So, yeah, to add to that point, keep your relationship personal. It's personal to you. Pick who is right for you. You're not dating nobody else. Nobody else is dating your boo. So it's just between y'all two. But I also wanted to say relationships are personal and not private. It's between two people. And that's something I had to learn, about being in an adult relationship. You have to be mature enough to keep your business. If you get into an argument with your boo, people should not know that. People should not know every time y'all have a disagreement. Y'all have to be able to work that out, talk it out, and you have to be okay with whatever decisions come through that. But yeah, they should be personal, not private. People should know y'all are in a relationship. You ain't gonna be covering your face, and I'm not gonna be able to not post no pictures with you. That's not what we're doing here, but I'll keep that for another day. No shade, all tea. Yeah. Let's chat about this topic in the comment section. I love you all. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. I'll see you on Monday, hopefully. It's called Am I Talking to a Wall? I'm going to take and drink some tea so my voice can be better. But I love you all. I'll see you all next Monday. Make sure you're following. Let's chat about this topic in the comment section. I'm about to cough, so I'm going to close the video off. Bye, guys.